What is up, and welcome to SGPN's The Daily Dog. I'm your host, Britton Hess. I'm here with my favorite Underdog fantasy plays for Tuesday, October 1st, 2024. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with promo code DailyDog. That's DAILYDOG at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app for a 50% deposit match bonus worth up to $1,000. That means if you put $1,000 on the app, you get $500 for free. If you put $2,000 on the app with that promo code DailyDog, you get $1,000 for free to play with. That goes a long way as far as trying to turn a profit goes. If you've got extra 50% to play with, it goes far. And also, just get on Underdog. There's so many promos each week. Other props and pick'em sites can't even compare to the amount of promos Underdog does. It's actually insane what they've got going on a regular basis. So can't recommend the app enough. And also, they have fantasy sports and a bunch of other stuff. So get in there if you have not gotten in there yet. All right. Let's get to our first slip for Thursday. We'll be doing a slip for Thursday every day till Thursday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for this Thursday night football game with the NFC South featuring the Falcons and the Buccaneers. I actually think the Buccaneers are a much better team than this Falcons squad. The Falcons squad was an off-season champ. Off-season champs are really never doing too much in the NFL. Check out the Jets, for example. They've had one impressive performance this season. It was against the New England Patriots. Congrats for beating the Patriots, Jets. But, just teams that kind of bring in a bunch of new players, pay a bunch of money for guys in the offseason, generally don't yield results immediately that first NFL season after bringing in those players. So, I'm definitely more in on the Bucs just long-term than this team. That said, that doesn't mean, that the Falcons can't rally the troops on Thursday Night Football. Obviously, a condensed timeline and prime time and everything else for these Thursday night games means a lot of stuff can happen. That said, my first play is Baker. Oh my God, I can't talk right now. My first pick is Baker Mayfield, higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns in this game against the Falcons. He's got Godwin. He's got Cade Otton, the tight end. Oh, yeah, he also has a guy named Mike Evans who's going to be in Canton one day. He's got Bucky Irvin out there. He's got Rashad White, another pass-catching receiver. They got McMillan, young receiver. They've got Trey Palmer, second-year pro, who is putting some stuff together for them. Had a nice touchdown last week. So this team definitely moves the ball through the air much more than the run. The run is kind of a thing that they do just to set up the pass. And Baker is having a great year. He really is. You can't really ignore what Baker's doing through the air this year. So I love him in this Thursday night primetime divisional matchup against the Falcons, who are very overrated and their defense is not very good. Did the Falcons offense get bailed out by their defense and special teams against the Saints last week? I don't know if you can describe it any other way. All right, that said, I am going to go with a guy that will give us a little bit of vulture protection. We're going Bijan Robinson, higher than half a rushing receiving touchdown in this game. Overall, the Falcons offense is kind of a crapshoot. You don't really know where the ball is going and where. Bijan Robinson is, allegedly the most explosive and best player on this offense. So hopefully, eventually, the team will just keep it simple on a Thursday night game where we have short to prepare and feed Bijan in the red zone. And if they do give it to Algier or someone else runs it in from inside the 5 or inside the 10 on a run on a run after he touched the ball already on that drive, then we can get a refund on this play. So I'm using Bijan half a rush and receiving yard here, or receiving touchdown here, because the vulture equity is definitely worth it. It saved my bacon a couple times over the weekend with some of these guys getting vultured. I'm looking at, who was the big vulture for me? We had a big vulture on, I think it was Sunday night. James Cook got vultured. Yeah, that was terrible. Man, that would have been so much money if James Cook would have scored a touchdown. But I got my money back because he got vultured. All right, last one for this Thursday night slip was Younghoe, higher than 7.5 kicking points against this team, the Buccaneers. Koo is obviously good from, 60, 70, 80 yards from that, from 60, 70, 80 yards in that Mercedes-Benz Dome. So give me Younghoe higher than 7.5 kicking points. I feel like that, despite me kind of clowning on the Falcons here, very good shot that they get 2 touchdowns. So there's 2 points with 2 extra points. And I think that there's also going to be plenty of opportunities for him to get field goals. He get 3 field goals in this game, but he should have at least 2. So I love that. In this slip, it's pretty straightforward. It is a 6.48x multiplier. You're getting the extra juice from the Bijan Robinson pick because, again, this Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde offense for the Falcons you don't really know who's ever going to get the ball, and that's why Bijan Robinson gets a little extra juice for him to score a touchdown. Again, this slip is Baker Mayfield higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns, Bijan Robinson higher than half a rushing and receiving touchdown, and Younghoe higher than 7.5 kicking points for 6.48x multiplier. All right. MLB playoffs. We got to play the playoff slips for sure. There's a lot of stuff to get into on Major League Baseball, but for this first day of the playoffs, I kept it pretty simple. But before that, I'm just going to tell you right now, I think that the Padres are going to crush the Braves in this series. The Braves are just so far hurt. They're just a team that needs to get out. They need to get to the offseason and reassess for next year. They need to get Acuna back. They need to get Austin Riley back. They need to get Spencer Strider back. They need to get Chris Sale back. This team is just walking wounded. Meanwhile, the Padres have been surging since the All-Star break. The Padres the last few weeks, the last few months have just been awesome. Great pitching, great guys at the plate. Obviously, I think he's a bit overrated, but Fernando Tatis is still a threat at the plate. You definitely want him on your team, and he is a guy that can take advantage of this kind of weak Braves bullpen. Obviously, Schwellenbach has been a great gift for this team, but Schwellenbach lost them the game in the doubleheader yesterday, which cemented the Mets playoff ticket there. So, yeah, give me the Padres in that series. I think that in the Orioles series, I'm leaning towards the Royals as well. I just think that there's the momentum that the momentum that the Orioles lost in the last half of the season is something to behold. Obviously, the Royals had a 7-game losing streak not too long ago, so they didn't exactly charge into the postseason. But again, I think that they're going to have a little bit more juice than the Orioles in that series. Next one, I think the Astros kind of poo-poo and kind of slow down the parade for the Tigers. That said, I think the Tigers have a good shot to win this series at about plus 140 on the series price. And then I'm forgetting one of these playoff series right now. Oh, Mets at Brewers. I think it's Mets all the way. Mets should kill them just based on the fact that the Mets are battle-tested. They had to go through hell to get to this spot, to get to the playoffs. Meanwhile, the Brewers are just fat and happy, running away with an easy division. That NL Central is crap. And the Mets had to go to war, and despite all odds, made it to the playoffs when everyone counted them out midway through the season. And this is a year after they sold off, after they spent all that money to build this team, and they got rid of all those guys. All those guys are not doing anything right now. And then this Mets team makes the playoffs. And the Brewers again, I think there's some solid pieces there. I don't think the pitching depth is there. I think they've got trouble against lefties. So if one of these lefties shows up for the Mets, that could be a problem. So yeah, I think the Mets are going to crush that series as well. That said, let's get into my actual picks here for this MLB playoffs day one. First one, early game, 11:30 a.m. Pacific, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Tarik Skubal and Framber Valdez lower than half of a first inning run allowed. Next, Cole Ragans, Corbin Burns lower than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. It seems like there's a common theme here, but they're not all the same. Luis Severino, Freddy Peralta higher than half of first inning run allowed. And actually, I think it's going to be Peralta who's going to allow a run here. This Mets team, again, is hot. They're performing in big moments. So give me the Mets and the Brewers to score a first inning run. These three plays together, 3.97x. So again, nothing too flashy, nothing too big, but two of these games, no first inning run. One of these games, yes, first inning run. So we're going to go no first inning run for Skubal Valdez in the Tigers-Astros game. We're going to go no first inning run in the Ragans-Burns matchup in that Royals-Orioles game. And then we're going to go yes in that Severino-Peralta matchup between the Mets and the Brewers, and that's 3.97x. Dong Squad, I'm just doing two picks here, just two guys. We're going with Spencer Torkelson, the righty against Framber Valdez. Framber's allowed a home run in each of his last two starts. Torkelson is a veteran. He's here to kick butt and take names, as they say. I don't think he's going to take advantage. He's the guy that needs to be in the playoffs. He's been out of them for too long. So give me Torkelson to make a statement against Framber. And then Salvador Perez, similar story against Corbin Burns. One, he's hit home runs versus Burns before. But two, Salvi is the holdover from that championship run with this Royals team. He's got to set the tone. He's got to get a home run in game one. So these two guys, Torkelson and Perez, if they both hit home runs, it's 40.24x. That's all I've got for you today. Enjoy the MLB playoffs. Enjoy, getting your early NFL slips in for Thursday Night Football. And above all else, let's make some money and sign up with promo code DailyDog if you're new to Underdog Fantasy.